NYPD, I need to commandeer this vehicle.
It's a crossover. It's a crossover SUV, and you can't have it.
I'm a cop. Can you please get out of the car?
No, this is Schmidt's mom's car, and I'm more scared of her than I am of some two-bit thug.
I'm not a thug. I'm police.
Welcome back, Mando.
Oh, greetings, Bucketheads. Mevar Tagar. Welcome to our 295th categorically chaotic crossover episode of Mandovision. I am your host, Nargai Tom, and thank you so much for checking out this small, independent Star Wars podcast. We're so glad you're here. Be sure you're reaching out to us on the socials at Mando_Vision on X/Twitter and Instagram. Hit me up at Mandovision at Blue Sky. And you can email the show, mandovisiontom@gmail.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, and share the show with all the Mandalorians in your covert. Good friends, welcome back. We're so glad you're here. We're still talking about Star Wars Skeleton Crew. We're going to do a nice big series review on the show today. I said crossover in the opening, but not so much a crossover, but we do have a special guest star coming on. If you are a longtime listener of the podcast, you know him, you love him. It is Regan from the Come On It's So Good podcast. Not the co-host we wanted, but the co-host this podcast needs. And so he's going to come on board today and share his thoughts. I've not talked to Regan at all about this series, except to check in to make sure he's actually watching it. We did have a couple of little mini conversations about Jod, but I don't know his opinion on the show. I don't know if he liked it or if he just kind of finished it because he's a completionist. We're going to get some answers, and we're going to talk about the show in general, a whole broad spectrum review of the series as a whole, and I'm really looking forward to the chat. Always a good time to have Regan come on, and as is often the case when he's here, I'm sure there will be many deviations from the conversation into side things, which is always fun. So, that being said, our good friend is on the line, ready for us, and that means it's time. Strap on your buckets. Let's go.
Get out of here. We'll hold them off. You're going to have to relocate the covert. This is the way. This is the way.
All right, joining us from across the Arctic tundra of Maryland, our good friend Regan from the Come On It's So Good podcast. He's freshly massaged and ready to spill his guts about the Skeleton Crew. Regan, how you doing?
Greetings, programs. I'm great. Freshly massaged. If you're not getting, I don't know what, it's not bi-weekly. What's every 3 weeks getting a good old massage? Go out there and try it. Especially if you're an older person and your body is betraying you slowly by the day. Yes, I agree with you. I'm jealous. I threw it out there. I kind of exposed you on this mostly because I'm just jealous myself. Yeah. It's been forever since I've taken care of myself. But thank you for joining us on your spa day. We truly appreciate it. Yeah. No problem. No problem.
So you and I did not spend a lot of time during the course of the Skeleton Crew run chatting about it, mostly because it was the freaking holidays and I was busy. So I'm imagining you were too. Besides, you guys had a podcast to crank out. So spill it, man. What did you think of the show? Were you a fan?
I loved it, and I did not think I was going to because I'm not the biggest fan of kids, and this seemed to be very led. Fern, I found really grating in the first episode or two, and she really grows on me. And I don't know if she grows on me or if they tone her ferdness down.
I mean, I think once it becomes the kids themselves become less adversarial with each other, and they sort of start becoming friends. I think that helps a lot. When they stop butting heads, her and Wim in particular.
Yeah. Oh, Wim was also annoying, but KB, who I called Jordy for most of the show, was awesome from start to finish, and Neil was awesome and my favorite character from the show. And I'm a little mad he didn't destroy the ship at the end with that turbo laser.
And
just the Force guides him, and it's a lucky shot, and it would be awesome.
I don't know why I'm so fascinated with the notion that Neil was bathing before he joined the adventure and got to shoot that giant turbo laser. But I'm like, why is this guy in the bathtub so late?
Because he probably hasn't had a bath in weeks, is what I thought.
Just a lot of grime.
Yeah. Don't elephants like to bathe too? Isn't that a thing? I mean, not to put all elephants in the same elephant corner.
That's a bold statement. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, I don't know, but it makes sense. Like if I said it with a little more confidence, if I was like, all elephants love to bathe, you'd be like, yeah, you know what?
I would have bought it. I have no basis to doubt you.
Well, I just looked at it as he probably hasn't bathed in weeks that they've been gone.
Right on. I mean,
and they were in some gross places. Actually, he might have taken a bath in that pleasure planet, the luxury planet. Maybe he got a quick shower in there.
I don't know. They had to move kind of quick.
They weren't there that long.
Yeah, and then they got shot down that big pipe and dumped onto the surface. I don't know. And then they were in a junkyard. A lot of things happened.
Yeah, junkyard, the war planet before that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dirt and grime just getting dug in there. Also, when you were talking about the hermit crab robot guys and who would follow them, I would 100% have followed them.
There we go.
There we go. Not even a question. I'd be like, these guys obviously are here to help me.
Which is funny,
but that's what Star Wars has trained you to trust those guys.
It has, but like, what Star Wars have we watched where they don't end up fighting a monster at some point? Like, I'd be like, where's the monster at? He's coming, and he's got to be around here somewhere.
That is also true. See, I would have expected a monster that eats these little crab people.
I went back and watched that episode a couple more times. I really enjoyed that one a lot. That was a fun episode with the crab monster, and then they have like that incinerator droid trying to eat the ship, and that one has a lot of things happening.
Yeah, it was good. It was each episode. This didn't have any clunkers and nothing that I really thought, oh, I wish this wasn't here. Mm-hmm. It's very Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, and just kids going out on their own. I know it's a show for children because the ending of the show is a lot of not killing people.
Yeah, like happy
when people would be dying a lot.
Yeah, and
especially when things start to go bad. And
no, I mean, and that's something I had to calibrate my brain to as well in that last episode. I'm like, why hasn't Jod just shot them all yet? Like, my goodness,
he does. He had to shoot everybody. If he stabs his dad with a lightsaber, T2 style, call the boy.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
I think a lot of stuff's gonna be like, once you smell the singe of the skin, you're like, hey, we're gonna stop pulling on stuff. I also didn't like how the administrator was taken out.
Oh, yeah.
How easily I took
the supervisor, by the way.
Yeah, supervisor.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would get stabbed and, another piece would come out. Just fight 45 seconds more. It was the one shot thing that I didn't like about it.
I mean, I think that's fair. Because, I mean, again, and maybe it's because maybe the audience... I know I did. We sort of like built up the idea of like the supervisor was gonna be like this great grand reveal, and it was kind of
the anti.
It was an anti of a big reveal, but like it was a fun twist that it was a droid.
Yeah,
but yeah, a big stationary one that wasn't gonna do much in combat.
I'd heard someone say something like that because they did a THX 1138 reference, but it was 1139.
The number of volts. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a movie about being, governed by robots.
Yeah. Looking back, that does make a certain amount of sense. And I mean,
it's a nice little touch. And
it also, I think they sort of do a good job of foreshadowing that a little bit because like Jod clearly has issues with droids throughout the series, especially at the beginning with SN33.
Well, in this time period, a lot of people have problems with droids still.
No, I mean,
if you go back to like A New Hope,
droid races, they exist.
Yeah, There's a lot of anti-droidism out there. Even though these 33 is a great droid, one of my favorites.
So good. I
don't know how he's still functioning.
No, but I love that he was.
Yeah.
I couldn't say I was shocked that KB didn't have time to kind of like reattach his head and get him going again.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see.
Great.
I'm glad to see she was using her time productively, while she was waiting for Wim and Wendell to get the docking clamps released. That made me happy. Yeah, I think the show overall was a blast, and like you said, each episode there's not a clunker there, but I think because it was a show that had like a very clear narrative, like we knew where we were starting, we knew where we were going to end, and each episode just built on the last one just really, really nicely. Like, yeah, it was geared towards kids, but I mean, the last show I can think of that Star Wars really, that really did that super efficiently and effectively was Andor, which are two completely different shows, but they built their narrative on top of each other. Like if I had one big criticism running through The Mandalorian, it's that, we don't really get things going until the last 2 episodes of the season, and you're like, all right,
preseason.
And again, The Mandalorian's fun, but its narrative doesn't build quite the same way.
No, The Mandalorian,
it's
they
definitely
do
more
one thing in an episode, and they build to something, and it's cliffhanger. See you next week, and then that cliffhanger is immediately resolved within the first minute, and then you build to another cliffhanger. That's how. Not that I don't love it. I love The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it by any stretch. Yeah, I love that show, but I like the way this one just kind of kept turning it up and advancing the characters, advancing the story, and then you get to that conclusion. We're like, all right, here we go. A lot of things got to happen.
Yeah, now John, I guess, is in jail.
What, right? Is he, or is he on the run? Like again, they keep it ambiguous, and
I think he just gave up at that point. His ships are gone.
Yeah,
the New Republic's there.
Mm-hmm.
They're into arresting people. He's going to be dismantling TIE fighters. That's the only thing I know we do with prisoners in the New Republic.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things I'm super curious about is like obviously what role will at and these other worlds play in the New Republic era, because again we're getting this New Republic era through the Disney Plus shows mostly, but gosh, it'd be fun to get some like books and stuff.
Yeah,
to really kind of get into like the nooks and cranny of it all, because again there's so many questions that we don't really know about this era except for what they kind of are spoon feeding us right now through the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah. Do you think there's an embargo on it like Lucas used to do with the books, where you can't talk about the Clone Wars, or you can't? You think there's off limit stuff, so they just don't even touch it in the books or comics?
I mean, it may be that way because
till they move on to whatever the next thing is.
Well, yeah, and I suspect that a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that like Filoni, Filoni and Favreau don't want to deal with like the continuity nerds, who are like, oh, this refutes what was just in this book that just came out,
I know, we're monsters, and we've done it to ourselves, and I do it all the time. Hopefully in a fun way. I don't want to come at somebody angrily over something, but I know I have.
Yeah.
I know I have in many things where I've been like, no, he wasn't even there, man. It's when you love something, it's hard to not come at it that way.
Yeah, and that's why like I understood Disney's decision to kind of like reboot canon. I didn't agree with it, but I sort of understood why they didn't want to deal with it.
Where we're standing right now, can you imagine if they didn't reboot the EU and were trying to tell a story like this?
Yeah.
It would be so unwieldy with all the characters that they had introduced just in this 5-year gap of
post Jedi.
So we'd be heir to the Empire ish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's still a bunch of Jedi: Mara J. Skywalker, Talon Card, Lando, and the characters they want to introduce in Boba Fett, Mando, Din Djarin. It would be unwieldy.
Oh, no, 100%. And like I said, that's why I understand it. I didn't really agree with it, but I understood it. I get it. They wanted to clear deck. But it's unfortunate they haven't done a lot with it.
That is true.
They wanted to keep the deck clear for their films and TV shows and stuff like that, but like, I really feel like they're missing an opportunity to flesh out things by not putting more books out there in this time period.
Yeah, or at least tie-in books to. I know they do. They've done a few to the last trilogy.
Yeah, like the Bloodlines book
Downfall
by Claudia Gray was really good, but I didn't care for the Aftermath trilogy really at all.
Aftermath, that's what it was.
Yeah, that one really never clicked for me. I know other people who love it. So.
Yeah, but do they go forward after that, or is it just they're up to the last movie? Palpatine returns, and they don't go.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot.
Did they do a book about how that dude showed up again? That seems like something that would have been done in the old EU.
They've been sort of like laying that track in the comics.
Okay.
But it's that retroactive continuity that I feel is unfortunate storytelling. Like it's annoying that they have to deal with that in the comics because they didn't want to really lay the track in the other series. In a trilogy of films, they didn't hint or foreshadow any of it.
Yeah, just put it in a book, and the people who want to find it are gonna find it. Or put it in the comic books. Those people are all like, if you're looking for that information,
right?
Make it available,
right? And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The comics are in a new point with Marvel. They're shifting into a post Return of the Jedi era, so I guess we'll start getting some like New Republic-y stuff coming out of that.
Yeah.
And I know there's the new Legacy of Vader book's going to kind of like show Kylo Ren becoming Kylo Ren. I don't know. We'll see how that all goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think Skeleton Crew now has like a does this tie into like any Mando stuff? Like, do you see that happening going forward?
The money,
it's
the vault, and the money.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's sort of where my head went too. Is like it's got to be like the money.
I think this money is going to be flooded into the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
The former Imperials.
That can't be good for the economy, by the way.
You got to do it slow. Man. You're going to ruin the value of all money.
Oh, so there'll be like a DH gate for the New Republic. You can get just knock off
I think
merch.
Because there are so many former Imperials inside the Republic now.
Clearly, yeah.
That this is where the First Order is going to come from.
There's something for Thrawn to take advantage of.
They're going to start embezzling this funds.
I don't know. I think it's perfect for Thrawn, freshly returned. He's like, hey, I need some credits. I got to buy some ships. I got to get some clones.
We got to fight those Vaughn guys. They're coming, man.
I got to get some cloning cylinders up and running to make some more stormtroopers.
I guess they are doing Ahsoka season 2. They need to.
Yeah.
Are they doing a sequel to this show? And what would that be? Because these kids, I don't think are allowed to steal another ship for season 2. I think that's bad parenting at that point.
I mean, so John Watts and Christopher Ford have definitely hinted that they have ideas, and I feel like that's why some things were sort of left vague at the very end, because they have some idea. And again, there's a lot there. We still don't really know much about Tak Rened. There's a lot to go into there if you wanted to. Like, I thought it was interesting. We still never really saw his face. We don't know much about him. I'm curious about the history of the Onyx Cinder. Because, according to the mythology that the show created, that ship was out there terrorizing the galaxy for a while. So how long has he had this ship? Like, when exactly did it crash on Ad-Adden? Like, I got so many questions about that part of it. Like, I'd love to explore that more if the kids wanted to have another adventure. And that does keep it self-contained and away from Mando and Thrawn stuff and Ahsoka stuff.
Or, I mean, I guess, what if they did it like a Goonies, where they're trying to find Tak Renard's resting place on the planet,
and it kicks off another adventure.
The ship.
Yeah,
but it's more, they find a tunnel under the water out there, and they steal a ship and they go out there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot of scenarios there.
And then it's more like an Indiana Jones Goonies type thing.
I'm okay with that. Sign me up.
Yeah, you got 33.
Yeah, and like clearly 33 knows things. You just have to ask the right questions.
Yeah, I just don't know what you do with their parents. Their parents just don't know what's happening.
Their parents just don't understand. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
I mean, I don't know. It's Yeah, I mean, you'd find something for the parents to get distracted by or whatever, or some way
Right.
for them to slip away or whatever. Like, it
Well, I
wouldn't be that
imagine they'll
hard.
be really busy with like the New Republic and
Right, yeah, there could be some big conference taking place on that, and everyone's all...
immediately the New Republic better be parking at least 4 Star Destroyers around this planet. Whatever you got in mothballs, get it out, get it there now.
Wedge Antilles, ambassador to At-Atten.
If Wedge had got off that ship, it would have been awesome.
I know. Don't get me started, because it would have been amazing.
I was like, why show me the Corvette if no one's going to get out?
I had a similar thought.
Like, I don't even need the Corvette, honestly.
Again, that's
Like,
sort
have
of...
DH or have Princess Leia get out and be like, Hope. Like, just do something. Like,
I actually thought this, like, oh, we're going to see this thing land and like C-3PO is going to get off, and that'll be like our cameo for the series. But they avoided it. They actually avoided it. I was sort of surprised.
They didn't even want to do it.
Yeah, I was sort of like, whoa, we didn't get the gratuitous cameo of a legacy character. That's amazing. That's just a lot of restraint.
It didn't feel right. Honestly, I need that little cameo. I guess they did have cameos. They had the little fast guy from Battle for Endor.
Right. Yeah, that species popped up.
Loved it.
But that was sort of the thing, right? Like I would sort of like look at these things and I was like, I guess that's like an Easter egg, but it's like, is it really? Like, it's just another Star Wars species, right? That's cool.
Yeah, it's just cool stuff. Wolfman was cool.
Yeah.
I forget what his name.
The Justivians.
It's very scary.
Brutus.
Yeah. I mean, dumb. Stop listening to Jude Law. Like, don't listen to him. I know you won't have the money, but you're fine. You're pirates. You'll be okay.
That was actually something I really liked when I thought back on the entire series. Was like, basically every episode there's somebody saying, "Hey, don't trust that guy." Yeah. And then when he betrays him, you're like, "Yeah, I mean, everyone warned him." Like, what do we think was going to happen?
I'm still upset about it. I was still like, "Oh no."
So let's talk about that. Like, how did you feel about Jod's character and kind of how that shook out? Because one of the things I looked, again, thinking back on the like the original like promotional material that came out, like the posters and the first images of it, you know, Jude Law's kind of got like this whimsical smirk on his face, like he's going to be the good guy, he's going to be the hero of the show.
Yeah, like he's the reluctant hero.
So I sort of love this whole misdirect that they give us now that we've seen the whole show. How did you feel about it? Were you waiting for Jude to kind of come around to the good side?
Yeah, because I've been conditioned by Star Wars that everyone can turn back to the light at any point. It's not a big deal. We forgive a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to, although he's never really took an oath to the light. He's a gray Jedi, dark person. Like he lives in the gray because he was born in a hole or whatever. He was born in the dirt.
Yeah.
And then someone found. Who do you think the Jedi was that found him? Do you think it's someone we know?
I sure hope not. I would love for it to be somebody we've never heard of.
Yeah, it wasn't Mace Windu.
It
was a woman. He said it was a woman.
I'm sort of tired of survivors of Order 66. I feel like we've done it.
I've been tired of it.
Yeah.
Everyone survived. Even in the EU, it got ridiculous a while.
It did. All the hidden Jedi that Luke was finding in the expanded universe. I mean, it's fun for a stretch, but at the same time, you're like, were Vader and the Emperor just that inefficient at their jobs? They just couldn't.
And all the Inquisitors.
And now that they've added the Inquisitors, you feel like they should be really proficient. So
I know that there's the underground that got a bunch of them out, and a ton of Jedi. But we don't know how many Jedi there were, I guess, in the galaxy.
No, but I mean, the idea of them laying low and then having like children makes sense. That's why Rebels is so interesting to rewatch right now, and because you're kind of touching on those things.
Yeah.
And then for it to have to be completely thrown away and ignored in the sequel trilogy. But that's a different podcast. We won't talk about that.
Maybe the next shows, if they keep making shows that get to the sequel trilogy. If we keep tinkering, we'll get to something.
I'm just going to live happily in my headcanon and leave it alone. It's just, I will stay happily immersed in the parts of the expanded universe that I did enjoy. I will throw away the parts I did not, and I'll somehow work it around the sequel trilogy somehow.
Is there a giant lightsaber ship?
God, I hope not. Controlled by the Hutts, no less.
Yeah, they got it. The Darksaber, right?
Oh God, yeah, it was Darksaber.
Yeah.
Kevin J. Anderson at his finest. Not a fan of that one. Not a fan.
I mean, I know we talk fondly about the EU. We really should do an episode where we just felt like the EU was not all roses. Like there's some bad stuff.
There was, and I was.
Jenna and Jason Solo were rubbing arms with bugs, and it was terrible. Not because of the bugs. I mean, because the bugs were terrible characters.
The Joiners, right? The Joiner series, the Joiner trilogy. Is that what that was?
Yeah. It was their big follow-up. It was their big series right after the Vong.
Was it? Was that right after the Vong? Oh,
that's
my!
Right after that first book ends, and they're on the new Vong homeworld with what was Ben Skywalker's girl, Dani, the young Jedi. Like her and Ben were the same age. I think it was Dani something.
You might be right. That's a little vague on me. I am having trouble recalling that.
It's such a minor character from that trilogy. I just remember she was Ben's friend, who was in the EU, was Luke's son, Luke and Myra Jade Skywalker's son.
Yeah.
And then after that trilogy, it gets into when Jason falls to the dark side.
Right.
I forget what that series of.
Yeah, something. Fate of the Jedi or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Which has cool parts. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Don't agree with Jason's fall to the dark side at all.
Really convenient.
Really convenient.
Just for a story.
But Boba Fett training Jaina was pretty cool.
Was awesome. Yeah,
pretty cool. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I want to. I got a story for the expanded universe stuff. We'll put a pin in that for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super glad that Jod was revealed to not be a survivor of Order 66. Glad, although I did come up. I like my idea of him like killing his Jedi Master and then running away with pirates before Order 66. I thought that was fun, but they don't hire me for these things, so we just talk about it.
I was convinced that he was that first Padawan you see.
So Anakin is so bad at killing younglings that kid survives.
It's the first slice. He's not that dedicated yet, so he's not going to go back to double tap a kid. That's crazy.
I don't know.
He moves on, and as he's doing his business, he gets better at it. That kid of the stormtroopers in the temple, that guy becomes John.
I don't know, man, because
the ages add up, by the way. But it doesn't work.
I think when it comes to Anakin killing younglings, it's like the home run derby. You're freshest at the beginning. You're getting the best swings in at first. You're tired by the end.
I'm saying there was a hesitation in that first swing.
I don't know. Like I said, that's when he was juiced. He was juiced. He was like Barry Bonds juice for that. He's like, I'm taking this kid downtown.
There's hesitation in the first one, and then you're like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I got to take them all. It's Pokemon time. Let's go.
Yeah, so I really had a lot of fun with the show. I love seeing pirates in Star Wars. It's one of those things that's been in the background for years and years and years, occasionally in the books.
Urkel.
I
was like, yes. And then just, oh no, Urkel, you're not going to get off this ship? Don't go down with the ship, man. You're a pirate.
Run. Why is he going down with the ship? That was crazy. So wait, let's go back to when they're going to Takaran's lair, because I wanted to get your hot take. And Jod turns back on the acid bath, and you hear those pirates screaming. No, not so much. Were they? What do you think happened there?
I think it starts to pour in. I don't think it's like flash flood.
Okay.
I think it starts to pour in, and it's on your tootsies. And you're like, that's hot. I don't like it.
I need new boots.
I don't think everybody made it out.
Okay.
I think somebody slips and slides, and you just let that guy go.
Yeah, I was like, what happens there? How's that work? All right. I mean, I just roll with it. It was fun.
Yeah.
I was happy that Pocket character survived. She seems interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with her.
I don't know. It's Star Wars. You can bring it back whenever you want.
That's true.
You can give her a whole new comic book series. Who cares?
I was gonna say Boba Fett season 2.
Oh, is it gonna happen?
No. Look, we are lucky to get the one. All right.
It's actually, I guess I'll put another pin in Skeleton Crew real quick because I actually just read something recently claiming that there's been sort of a surge in the popularity of the Book of Boba Fett. And now that it's distanced itself from everyone's expectations, that it's actually faring quite well in people's rewatches and re-reviews of it.
Great, because people were very harsh to it.
Very harsh on it.
Unfair expectations, which a lot of us have for Star Wars stuff, and
for Boba Fett in particular.
Guilty. Yes, I'm guilty as well.
Yeah,
I overlooked. I should rewatch Ahsoka. I overlooked a lot of stuff in Ahsoka, but I was also rooting for the wrong side, and not the heroes in Ahsoka. And you shouldn't watch the show that way.
Well, so you weren't a Game of Thrones fan, but you've seen the rumors of the replacement for Baylan Skoll?
No.
Oh, okay. The guy who played the Hound in Game of Thrones is.
Oh, okay. I know the Hound. I know the Hound. He has a burned face.
Yes, I don't think he'll have it in Star Wars. So luckily, that's.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the big rumor is that he's taking the reins for Baylan Skoll for the late great. Oh gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevenson. Okay,
Yeah.
I wonder what they were going to do with that.
Yeah, that's the rumor. So they'll keep that story going. New actor in his place. So despite Bob Iger saying like we don't believe in recasting characters.
Well, I hope he's changed his policy on that because he should stop de-aging people and just start recasting people and give.
Well, they're still making the Lando movie, so him saying this made no sense. I mean, obviously Donald Glover is a recast.
I know, but I've told you how you work around that. You just start the first 30 seconds is Billy D. Mm-hmm. In a hollow recorder,
the Chronicles,
and then boom, you could do whatever you want after that for the all time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a perfect baton toss. Just do it.
Yeah,
and let me watch it immediately.
I mean, can you do the same thing with get Harrison Ford one more time to like bookend a Han Solo series? Like, why not? Right?
Yeah. He's so grumpy. I don't think he wants to come back again.
Man. But he's leaned into that. Like that's he's making. He's gonna get all kinds of awards for being a grumpy guy on Shrinking.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's great on it.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. Give the man all the awards. He deserves them all.
I mean, he keeps coming back to play Indy. I don't know why he wants to play Indy all the time. But Han Solo's a bridge too far. I think Star Wars fans are crazier.
I think the fans
than
wear him
Indiana
out.
Jones.
I think the fans just wear him out. I'll be honest.
We do. Once again, we're a lot. We're a lot to deal with. He probably hasn't had a peaceful flight that he's not flying in years. That's probably why he got a pilot's license.
So he can
get away from us.
Yeah. Again, I don't necessarily blame the man. Give the man his peace. Give him his space.
He's Han Solo and Indiana Jones. Sorry, you're gonna get bothered while you're taking a pee-pee. Sorry, man.
It's a little unsettling though to have people come up to you in the bathroom though. Let's be honest.
Agreed. It happens though. I've heard about it many times.
Reagan going up, leaning in. Hey, nice watch.
Yeah,
jerk.
I like that. I liked you a lot. In clear and present danger. You can't throw Star Wars or Indy at him. You got to give him another title.
I was gonna say,
you were incredible. What lies beneath?
Dude, I'd be like, hey, let's go raise the barn. Get him right in Witness. Classic.
What was Josh Hartnett like in Hollywood Homicide?
Hey, he got to work with a young Brad Pitt in The Devil's Own. Come on.
All right. I loved you in Regarding Henry. Weren't you in Working Girl?
Did you
9 to 5? Was it 9 to 5 or Working Girl?
Did you enjoy kicking Gary Oldman in the face on Air Force One?
Yeah. Get off his plane.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie.
It's so good. Dude, I feel like this should be like the subplot for one of the the next season of Come On, It's So Good. It's just Harrison Ford rewatches.
We're right now we're doing buddy movies, and we're having a great time. What's up, man?
Buddy who? Buddy Christ?
Like buddy cops, or buddy team up movies.
Lethal Weapon.
Oh, we just. I mean, spoilers for a couple weeks. We're doing Dead Heat. Joe Piscopo.
Wow.
And,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you haven't thought of Dead Heat in a long time, right?
What's the one with Why am I
like
blanking
Jack
on the name?
and Shanghai Nights or Shanghai Noon. What's the first one?
What's the one I'm
Rush
thinking?
Hour. Things like that.
What's the one I'm thinking of with like Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal? That one's really good. Should do that one.
Why did I go to throw? Oh, what?
Did I stump you?
Like,
Did I
it's
stump
like
the
a
Regan?
bail jumping or something, right? With the
Right.
oh, it's I'm trying to think. I know what movie you're talking about. I can picture the VHS cassette like case.
Yeah. Running scared.
Oh.
Running scared.
Yeah.
I guess they're not cops though, right?
No. What? But they don't have to be cops. Think of like a
Oh,
Tango.
no,
and Cash.
they are cops. They are cops in it.
I thought. Oh, okay.
I think I'm mixing up with like 3 different movies, but yeah, that one.
we got some cool stuff like that where because we found so many times that like two-handers as they're called.
Two-handers?
Two-handers.
Dos Manos?
2 stars. 2 stars.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
It all started. We were talking about Assassins with Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been trying to find that streaming somewhere forever. It's a white whale. No one has the guts out there to put Assassins on streaming.
It's been a minute since I've watched that one, so yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah. I haven't watched Assassins in a while. I remember it being okay. It's the days you're watching a movie, you're winning.
Fair enough. I do feel like we've transitioned from our main topic.
This is more of our after hours call. Sorry, we'll get back to the skeleton.
Well,
crew.
it is funny because I always I like to end our conversations on the podcast asking what you guys are up to, but now we just have it in the middle. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Predestination is some great stuff. COisGPod at COisGPod on Instagram and Threads.
Well, so I guess honestly, we don't have a ton more to say about the show because we did like it so much. We went along for the ride. We enjoyed the characters. They grew. They developed. They changed. Everyone got a moment to shine. I love Jod's kind of like heel turn in that 5th episode, or is it 6th episode? 6th, 5th, 6th. I can't remember now. But
6th episode, I think. When does he? That's when he takes control of the ship.
Yeah, when he shoots Brutus in the head, and he's just like, "Oh, all right, that got real."
When he has the knife to Fern, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's a good guy deep down.
Yeah, it starts to turn pretty quick when they're in the lair of Tagrenid in his vault. Yeah. So I love the series. I really did. Did out of curiosity, did your brothers and you talk about this at all? Did they feel the same?
Yeah, we're all really enjoying the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
not crazy.
I was gonna say I don't think you guys have done too many talks about this one yet.
No, we've been busy with life.
It came out through the holidays. It was tricky.
Yeah. It was. We were like, are we gonna do one? One of us was on vacation for a period of time.
Right.
Actually, 2 of us were on vacation, and it's hard wrangling 4 people to do bonus episodes.
Yeah, especially in November, December. I get it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.
Really enjoyed it.
Right on. Yeah, I'd love to see a second season. I'd love to see it kind of continue. They left a lot on the table that they can pick up and run with. So I hope this isn't one of those situations where Disney's like, no, one and done, we're fine.
Yeah, if they do, I'll be like, okay. I don't want things to be run into the ground anymore and become. I call it two-facing.
Mm-hmm.
You stay around so long, you become a villain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, or like how the Brits do it, they just cancel stuff willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Way too early. Let's go out happy. So if they don't have a great story, or the kids get too old and want to do other stuff, okay.
No, it's funny. Bill Lawrence has been talking about this a lot lately. The guy behind Scrubs and all those shows.
Come on.
Like now that he's doing stuff for Apple, like he's very much into that format. He's like, we're telling the story and that's it. We're done. Like,
yeah, don't. He is flirting around with the Scrubs reboot, and there's no bigger Scrubs fan than me. And even I'm like, come on, man, you guys are. Get to the second idea, Bill.
There is at least
Bill,
one.
You've had.
I know one bigger Scrubs fan. I live with her, so
yeah.
Who's
Is she
in charge
pumped for it?
Oh my god,
she's
got like the change.org petition going on. She's fired up.
It's gonna be like med school again.
Janine's not.
Doesn't she?
My wife. Listen,
And I like the med school year.
my wife's not like plugged into entertainment the way we are, and she is more than happy to go back to the well over and over and over and over again. So she's not going to be the dissenting opinion on this.
So am I. I love well going. I get it. I've tried.
but I don't think this show is going to be that way. I mean, the guys like Watson Ford have said they have ideas for a second season, but they haven't said anything like, "Oh yeah, we're going to go for 10 years and these kids are going to be 40 by the time it wraps up." I've never heard anything like that going on. So like a second season to kind of like bookend everything and wrap it all up, show us where Atten lands in the New Republic, but also maybe exploring more of Tac Rented, having more pirate adventures. That would be fun. I think you could do a second season and then like kind of end it there. While these kids are still young and, you know, it doesn't become Stranger Things where they're all, 45 years old getting ready for Social Security.
This kid's getting really old now.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that show since the first season, but I imagine that show's getting close to Two-Face territory.
Well, I mean, again, the final season will finally come out, but yeah, give us one more year of Skeleton Crew. Let us have this one more adventure with the kids, and then send them off into the galaxy to do whatever they're going to do, and there we go.
Actually, keep giving me streaming, like TV. Give me Star Wars TV shows all the time.
I mean, you and I've been saying that forever, so
you got to keep something. I know it's Disney Plus, and they have the best movie selection of any streaming service known.
Isn't it weird though?
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Isn't it weird though, like watching Disney Plus and being like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Alien right now, and you're just like watching a chest burster come out. You're like, I'm on Disney Plus right now. This is super weird.
Yeah, I watched Shogun on Disney Plus. This is weird, man. I gotta go over to the Hulu app. Like it feels better over there.
Yeah, it feels just more natural to be in the Hulu space watching adult material.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of The Shield on Disney Plus. I was like, this doesn't feel right at all. I don't think I should be here right now.
Again, another diversion here, but that new Daredevil trailer came out for Born Again, and I'm just like,
so good.
This show's gonna be on Disney Plus. I just watched some guy get his leg broken in half. Like, my God.
Yeah, it looked great.
No, I was fired up about it, and it's funny too because the other thing I thought of was like, okay, cool, I'm getting the Daredevil show that I wanted back, and I'm excited, and it has that level of violence that I wanted. Why couldn't Disney be persuaded to do this for the Moon Knight show, where it would have been totally appropriate to have this level of violence? It's bummed me out. Think about that. Thinking about that show bummed me out.
Well, if they hopefully make season 2 of Moon Knight. Moon Knight was pretty violent at times.
Not enough. Moon Knight should have been like Daredevil level street violence.
Would have been nice. I can't wait to see Iron Fist come back. Psych. Actually, no. If it's Colleen Wing, if she comes back as Iron Fist, because she was Iron Fist at the end of Iron Fist, I believe.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I watched that. I think she had the fist and the sword, and that was where like it ended.
That series was a trudge. I do not recall the ending of it at all. But unlike Skeleton Crew,
she was a star.
But Skeleton Crew was a hoot. That was not a trudge. We love the Skeleton Crew.
No, flew by. I look forward to it every week, even though I can't keep track of when things come out anymore. And then I would realize and be very happy that I knew I immediately had Skeleton Crew when I came home that day.
So yeah, I guess that it's a COisG, right?
Oh, easy COisG.
Yeah,
love Skeleton Crew. Make it, season, maybe 2 more.
Yeah, I'm reluctant to say it's the whole series overall is a big 10 buckets, but it's at least 9.5. It's real close. I love it. I love it.
I'd probably get close to 10.
I'm real close. Yeah, I don't do fractions.
I don't even have anything to really knock off of it. It had X-wing shooting stuff.
Yeah,
lightsabers, a cool droid.
Oh, great droid.
Treasure, like a treasure hunt.
Pirate stuff. It's space pirates. So cool. Yeah. I had an absolute blast with the series. Loved it from start to finish. Each episode, the way it built, the mythology it wove for us, the mysteries. I was really just delighted start to finish. And like I said, if it's not exactly 10 buckets, it's real darn close.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you've already sort of teased your podcast a little bit, but why don't you do it again? Give them all the links and everything.
Yeah. You can follow us on Instagram at COisGPod, and same thing for Threads. We're doing a bunch of great episodes. We just did Minority Report. We did, what was that Hugh Jackman Tree of Life movie? We did that movie. I can't think of what it's called right now. I'm on the spot. It was pretty good. It's very artsy, and I'm not an artsy guy. Not The Giver. Oh, that's gonna annoy me all day. We did Red One. We went out to a real live movie theater and watched that fantastic movie.
I enjoyed that too.
There's lots of great stuff over at COisGPod.
Always cranking out the content over on the COisG. Check out Regan, Ryan, and Rob with their boy E, and have a good time over there. Regan, thanks so much for hanging out. I have one last thing I want to bring up to you. I texted you about this. I wanted to share it with our lovely audience. I am in one of probably what is ultimately 10,000 different Expanded Universe Facebook groups. And the one that I am in seems to have been infiltrated by people who are not of the appropriate age to have grown up with the EU. So now they just pop into this group. I wanted to talk to you
about this more.
Yeah, so now they pop into this group and they just poop all over characters from the EU. Their latest target is Corin Horn. And this angers me.
Who do they like from the EU?
I'm not sure. Because again, I don't pay enough attention to each person's postings to know this person's been saying this over.
I didn't know if they're like, Kip Dryden is awesome, start to finish. He gets cool. I'll admit that he gets cool towards the end. But there are a lot of terrible, especially Jedi characters.
Sure,
they had
too
trouble writing Jedis.
Yeah, well,
especially young, quote unquote, hip Jedi. They wrote a lot of poochies, if you know what I mean. That's why the Vong series is awesome, because poochies were dying all over the place.
Yeah, so I guess I sort of don't know. I'm debating whether or not I should just leave this group, because I find it sometimes for every conversation that's interesting, there's 3 that are just infuriating, and I don't know if it's worth it anymore. I just wanted to hang out and talk about the good old days of the EU.
Yeah.
And then they get these whippersnappers coming in there, telling me that Corin Horn has no business talking to Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, what are you even saying right now?
But his lightsaber is a little longer if he pushes that button.
Which at the time, sure, why not? Made total sense.
That's right. It sounds weird right now, but in 1997, you're like, oh man, he did it. He pushed the button. Wait, isn't that how he beats the Vong? In the book, he goes away in the Vong book. I think it's the 3rd book in the series.
Yeah, they take him off the table. Yeah.
I think he uses the button and it kills the Vong Supreme Commander or whatever he was.
And it just makes him angry.
Yeah.
But
he just leaves.
But this is just the latest in a line of just pooping on EU characters. And I'm just I don't know.
Is there a lot? Is there only EU talk, or are they Rey is awesome?
No, okay. So this is the other problem with this group that I've noticed is that it's very anti-Disney. They're very anti the new continuity. So they're a little entrenched in their EU love, and I get that. And again, the first year or two I was in this group, it seemed pretty okay. We you could talk about the EU and you didn't have to poop on Disney. But it seems like the more people that have joined it recently, it's this is a little icky now.
I've actually started blocking a lot of that stuff out of my life.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff comes up on reels and stuff where they want to attach all political angles and who should be cast and who, where, when.
Yeah.
I can't think of something that's going to get you blocked out of my feed. And I'm not a blocker. I'm more of just a skip and move. But just in case that demonetizes that person in some way, shape, or form, that's what I want. Because I don't want that out. Star Wars is good for everybody.
Right.
But I would leave that group and find another group. Or start your own group and invite the normal people over.
I'll just invite you and 4 other people. And
we'd be like, Corin Horn's awesome.
Hey, remember those X-Wings books? Those are great.
That was my whole plot for season 2 of The Acolyte, was just to have a Cornhorn Jedi cop trying to figure out who did the murders because they don't believe in Sith Lords.
Yeah,
So
that would have been fun. Anyways,
yes, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to share my frustrations with this Facebook group that I will probably ultimately leave because I that's just no fun.
Life's short. Kevin Smith said, like, I'm not going to spend any time with the rest of my life talking bad about anything.
Yeah.
Life's too short. I almost died.
Yeah.
And I was like, you make a lot of points. I know I say that, and I'm going to talk bad about a movie later on tonight, but don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to talk about this movie. But.
Yeah, no. At first, it was a fun group to like reminisce about like the old books, and it was like, oh, hey, remember this one? And when so and so, I was like, yeah, that was cool as heck. And then,
see, I would just use it as like what characters you want to see brought in from the EU.
Well, it was just fun to kind of again like touch base on books I haven't read in 25 years. You know, it's
right?
Like, oh yeah, gosh, I do remember that. That was super fun. I did really enjoy that one. Or like, yeah, that one wasn't my cup of tea necessarily, but I did read it. You know,
I mean.
So I enjoyed it on that level, but like now that the people are just, it's like I said, infiltrating, and it's got a strong anti-Disney slant, and it's got this youthful infusion of people who didn't grow up with these characters, so they don't have the same appreciation, and they have to put labels on everyone. It just bums me out.
I can't believe people are anti-Disney. They didn't go through what we went through.
I had to Google something. I had to Google something
15 years of nothing.
I had to Google something because they kept referring to Cornhorn as something called a Gary Stew, which is like a Mary Sue, I guess, but for a guy.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, really? We're gonna put a very modern.
I would have
like
to go back.
Cornhorn.
Yeah.
That's felt weird to me.
I'm sure there's a bunch of Mary Sues in the Star Wars universe, or Gary Sues, or whatever you want to call them.
But can you put like the modern lens on something that's almost 30 years old? Like is that even remotely reasonable?
I don't think it's fair. You can.
I mean, that's what these
happens
people,
a lot.
But that's what these people are doing, and that's why I was like, I don't like this. It's funny because I am going to reread iJedi pretty soon. Here, it's on my list, and then maybe I'll look at it differently. But I don't think so. Like I have true affinity for that.
No,
character.
I imagine that's still going to be a fun book to read.
Yeah, because it was a hoot the first time.
Okay. You should before you quit, ask have they read the new Mace Windu book, and if they like how Mace Windu is represented in that book as a person.
So I haven't read that book yet. What are you trying to say? Should I be alerted or warned?
Hate the way they made Mace Windu.
Okay.
He stinks.
Okay.
I don't like the way he's written at all. He's for all right. The position he has in the Jedi Council is a little too egotistical. Like there are several points where he's like, "I'm the best athlete here, but I'm not going to use my Force powers just because I don't need them. I'm that good." And I'm like, "Ew, dude, ew."
This has been Books with Regan. There we go.
Oh, the Mace Windu book infuriated me.
Oh,
it could have been so cool.
Oh man,
it's right after Qui-Gon dies. He should be trying to figure out what happened there. Instead, he does something for Qui-Gon. But
I don't remember being in love with the last Mace Windu book that came out a million years ago. The Shatterpoint book wasn't my favorite either. But
I don't even remember it. But it's just I have a hard. I can't picture Samuel L. Jackson playing this Mace Windu. Okay. Mace Windu seemed very cold, calculated. That's not this guy. He's just kind of going along with everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not. I that was just my interpretation of it.
Yeah, hated it. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. You share all your links. I don't have anything else to say about this Facebook group. They are taxing, wearing me out, bro. But otherwise, just one more time for the people. Where can they find you guys?
You can find us at COisGPod.com or at COisGPod on Instagram and Threads.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out today. It's been a hoot, as usual. And we're saying, hey, more Skeleton Crew. Let's make it happen. I'm sure all the higher ups at Disney and Lucasfilm are listening to this show. So yeah, we full-heartedly embrace this show. Bring it back.
I hope they're listening. Put Nominor in something. There, I got him in this episode. Boom.
There you go. All right, say bye to the people, Regan.
Aboosh!
bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
So that was our good friend Regan from the Come On, It's Still Good podcast. Be sure to check them out. Always a fun time listening to those guys. Always a fun time to have Regan come on board here at Mandovision and give us his thoughts. And yeah, a little surprise. All of us are on board with this series. Skeleton Crew hit all the right notes, and we're all on board with the second season of it. Let's see if that happens here in the coming weeks. Otherwise, after this, we'll be back getting started on Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels and counting down the days until Season 2 of Star Wars Andor. And if you are familiar with this podcast, you know how much I absolutely loved and adored the Andor series. So I cannot wait for its return. And yeah, I mean, again, we'll be doing Rebels Season 2. Can't wait for that. Raising the bar from Season 1. Check out our rewatch episodes of that if you haven't already. And we'll see you next week to kick that off. All right, Bucketheads, let's get out of here. Again, reach out to us on the socials, Mando_Vision on Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up at Mandovision on Blue Sky. Email the show at mandovisiontom@gmail.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and share the show with all the Mandalorians in your covert. A great way to support the show. If you're interested and so inclined, give us those sweet 5-star reviews on the iTunes. They really help the small independent shows like us stand out and not get lost in the intergalactic shuffle. And with that being said, my friends, let's wrap this up. This podcast can only end one way. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
You expect me to search the galaxy for the home of this creature and deliver it to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.